Hi there, this message is going out Wednesday the 9th of December. Johnny's given me the title Son of Man, and I would highly recommend that you pause this or stop this and go and watch the Bible Project's Son of Man video. Hopefully we're going to put it up as well, but search Bible Project Son of Man. It'll give you a really in-depth, clear picture of where that phrase comes from and why Jesus used that phrase about himself. It's used over 180 times in Scripture, Son of Man. So go and do that. And if you want, come back. And I might see you in a bit. Many decades ago, I was out in Sri Lanka and I got invited to go and speak at a men's prison and go and speak to one wing, which was where the drug dealers and drug addicts were placed. And I was invited there to go and speak about Jesus. But I really wasn't connected. I wasn't connecting with them. They were bored. They had no idea what I was talking about. I was probably talking about eschatology or something. They just didn't have a clue or any interest in what I was talking about. But then I made this phrase that Jesus was rejected by his family and his friends. And all of a sudden I had their attention and they were really questioning and wanting to know how Jesus was rejected and why he was rejected and why his family turned their back on him and why in his greatest hour of need all his friends fled. Of course, because that was their experience. That's what they'd, in a shame culture, that's what they'd all experienced. And many of them, their family wouldn't visit, wouldn't even acknowledge that they were alive anymore. And so all of a sudden I could talk about Jesus empathizing with each one of us, how he experienced it himself. And I think that's the key as why Jesus used that phrase, Son of Man, about himself. He came as God, but also fully human. And we've talked about in the sermons looking past at Philippians 2, how he emptied himself, how he'd existed from all eternity, through all eternity, but had come to earth as a fully human person. And I think he used the phrase about himself, Son of Man. He could have used many others. He didn't talk about himself as Messiah, or how the non-translation of that word Christ is used throughout the rest of Scripture. He didn't use that about himself, but he called himself the Son of Man. And I think it was so he could identify with us. And the writer of Hebrew, I think, sums it up. Verse 15 of chapter 4. For we don't have a high priest, he's talking about Jesus, of course, the highest of high priests, who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet without sin. So Jesus could identify with us. He understands. He went through the human emotions. He was attacked by the demonic. The devil came against him. And so no matter what you're going through, I think it just is so reassuring that Jesus understands. Yes, he may not have actually gone through specifically what you're going through, but he understands. And therefore we have a God who is able to sympathize, able to empathize with us, even though he sits at the right hand of God. Jesus knows what we're going through, so we can come to him. And then the following verse in that is one we've looked at before. Let us then come boldly to the throne of grace, so that we may receive mercy and may find grace, God's empowering presence in us, to help us the moment we need it. So, whatever we're going through, good or bad, whatever the tough times we may be struggling, Jesus understands, and therefore we can come before him. Maybe not with well-formed prayers or eloquent diction, it doesn't matter. We can come before him because he understands. Jesus, the Son of Man.